Hello, and welcome to Soul Spa University, where your souls can run free and your minds are free to expand. Essentially, adult Disneyland. Have you ever found yourself drawn to a different era? Either you're looking at movies or shows you're drawn to about the past, or whether it be old Hollywood or the early 1900s, or any sort of era, or you read books about it or find yourself loving pictures of it. I'm here to tell you exactly why that is closer to the end, but you're going to find out pretty soon. In the meantime, please don't forget to give that little thumbs up for a like and subscribe so I can keep putting out very out there content for you that you're always wondering but can't find the answer to. I have the connect and I will tell you. And I hope you have fun with us during this experience. I'm going to tell you exactly why you're drawn to those different eras in a few minutes. But if you could do that, that would be amazing for us. And thank you so, so much. Little background, Tommy, speaking of different eras, there's just a running joke between Tommy thinks I literally was brought up in a different era.
True. You don't belong in this time.
Well, here's some background. Yeah, I mean, I guess the fact that, my dad was from Europe and he was a history philosophy professor who blasted the house with opera and classical music as our house was inundated with paintings that he's done of my mom, usually not clothed.
Oh.
So when we were raised as such, it was pretty much like Laura Ashley, BC, or Little House on the Prairie, like the Beyond section. If Laura Ashley had a Beyond section of the store, like Laura and Ashley and Beyond, that would be where I am. We wore wooden clogs.
Dad from Holland?
Czechoslovakia.
What?
My mom, but he had a lot of class, and so did my mom. My mom was biologically Italian and some other things. But then during the day, since my mom was the assistant head dean at Cornell, I was given to this Italian American family who was quite the opposite, who to this day I still consider my heart, but I loved it there. I loved the modern music. The modern food was amazing. And, it was like Yankee hats, popsicles, and AC. It was like so fun, Anyway, after my dad's passing at age 6, I had some say in what I wore. So that was fun. And basically, I would choose brands that I recently looked up and found out they are centered in Europe. I tried to look like Punky Brewster in a way. So I chose brands like Oil Lily or things like that. And I recently looked up to see if they still exist. And they're like, there's not even European, there's not even an American dollar sign on their sites. So that whole joke where you think I like belong in Europe or a different era, like all the clothing I picked out as a kid, like doesn't even have American dollar signs on it. Oh.
Well, that seems amazing, actually.
Huh?
That seems amazing that you would gravitate towards that as a child and then understand as an adult that it's like, oh, wow. That's spot on.
Well, because you're always the one like you belong in Europe or a different era. And yeah. Why is that, Tommy? Is it because I eat very slowly and enjoy things?
Yes. No. It's just that you, like you said, you always want to watch like the old like stuff that's going on, like Downton Abbey and whatever, and all this Bridgerton and all that nonsense. And you constantly like try to dress as if it's the 1890s. And I'm like, no, stop that. And you're like, oi, mate. And I'm like, stop it. No, we don't talk like that.
Okay, that's recent. All of this is quite recent. Okay. And this all came about by accident, which I will share in a second. But either way, yeah, aside from me being naturally forever just drawn to, I would love to live in a village, or be able to walk to one. The thought of never driving is extremely freeing to me. And many things. I really enjoy things. I enjoy them slowly. And I like to enjoy, yes, I'm healthy and stuff. But yeah, once in a while, I like to enjoy dessert and chocolate, even if it's just a little bit. I just think I belong in Europe and possibly a different era, or at least the way Europe used to be. So possibly Europe in a different era. I don't know. But here's what happened recently, and I'm going to explain to you why you're drawn to different eras. So recently, and trust me, I still got the New York in me, so I'm half and half. But recently, I found myself having to sleep in an unknown area. So I've been sleeping on a couch for 2 months. Coworker Tommy had to take me in, or coworker Tommy was nice enough to take me in when all of a sudden I couldn't sleep in my apartment anymore. Sorry, the sound. So I've been sleeping on his couch, and to get used to my new surroundings at night, I will let myself watch his giant TV on very low. And I thought Downtown Abbey would be great to fall asleep to, because I thought it would be boring as, right? Well, the first episode put me right to sleep. It was amazing, nice thing to go to sleep to, just a bunch of British accents or whatever it is. And I'm like, oh my God, how do they have 6 seasons of this? Right? Then halfway through the second episode, my jaw was to the ground, and it's extremely riveting. And yeah, now I'm in a phase where, yes, I do definitely belong in a different era. And even before this teacup, like, so luckily came into my life, whenever coworker Tommy would say something that pissed me off, I would just go like this to an imaginary teacup.
Yes.
And what? Your sound broke.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was very irritating. And now she has a physical one.
Yes, I do. And I use it often. So yes, it's been quite the adventure rooming with coworker Tommy, and quite the adventure for him as he's rooming with somebody who's not from this era.
Correct. Thankfully, I was also kind of brought up with the European family. No wooden clogs, though. Thank God for that.
Tommy's childhood was ironically right near mine. His was in the Bronx, and me, being in a different era, wooden clogs and all, was somehow in Mount Vernon. But that would be where the Italian and the late Yankee hat came in. Of my other. So, hang on one second. I never wanted electricity in my room growing up. Also, I sewed my own stuffed animals, and my Christmas gifts were, a stuffed animal my mom would sew for me, like a gingerbread man. I love them. I don't think the food we ate on holidays exists anymore, or even then. And the things they're showing in Downton Abbey are very familiar to me, like from my childhood familiar, which is weird. It's like cross stitching and stuff. So
I thought that was a normal thing.
So yeah, so I would spend some of my time, in my parents' house, I'm in a different era, and then with the opera blasting and stuff, and like never speak, and then the other half were more so in the people that took care of me, which was like MTV blasting and popsicles and all sorts of things. So anyway, I love them both, and yet for some reason these roots that I've been running from have found me. and Tommy gets to enjoy it. But I am here today to tell you guys your reason for why you're attracted to different eras. So I was really curious about this myself because I got really drawn in, and I was like, what is this? So I do that thing where I connect, which is why I'm a intuitive spiritual guider or healer. So if anybody needs a session there is a link in the description box. But when I connect, like I feel we all have the ability to do, you will have the answers. We all have the answers inside. And in case you're too busy with your life and you just want to know why the hell you're attracted or drawn to these things, I'm here to tell you. So I connected, and basically what it comes down to is this. A lot like when you remember your childhood, you have a sense of nostalgia that happens where you'll remember this like good feeling going on, and you won't remember a lot of the bad. And that might be for a few reasons, which get pretty deep in terms of you being more connected to source then and more connected to your own truth then as a result, before you had patterns grained into you more and more and more as an adult. So you're more truly yourself and thus more connected to source. Similar things happen where what's going on is these different eras, more than likely, I'm saying like more than 100% likely than not being likely, you've had at least one or several lifetimes in, okay? And you'll have this subconscious form of nostalgia with it, because just like we have a nostalgia about early childhood, we have nostalgia about different eras we've lived. And it's because it's a similar kind of proportion where you remember like the good of it. It also connects to the fact that from the other side, when you picked these lifetimes, like from the other side, the lifetime you picked now looked amazing. And when you cross over to the other side, it's still amazing. On the other side, you're not feeling the darkness that you're feeling here. You're not getting, you realize from the other side, that's for your advantage to feel that here. It's a contrast. You're feeling it for a contrast. So you know more of what you like on the other side. So you can experience in that more. So you have the spiritual evolution. It never seems as bad as on the other side to look at here. It never seems as bad, which is why you choose to come here. It only seems bad in the moment here, right? So, and once that moment passes, it's less and less hard. So looking back on former eras or other lifetimes, you're looking at it from a different perspective, which is subconsciously, I chose that because, and you're remembering some of the good of it. Another way it works is that because you are looking at that other lifetime, subconsciously, of course, you're not even aware of this. What always matters at the end of life, the only thing that's truly real is love and the connections you've had during that life. So that's what you took with you. So that's why you remember good of it. You forget how it felt to get shot in the war. You forget the everything else, you know. But there is a good nostalgia about back then. It is all relative, even though it seems harder back then in terms of work we had to do, manual labor, etc. You know, I think it's all relative. Things were simpler back then. People knew their roles. There wasn't a lot of time for like, oh, there's 25 options on POF and they're all a bunch of, you know, fabricated. There wasn't that. Things were simpler. You're in love or you're not, you know, and you live simply. And I kind of like that. But another way this works is this. It takes you out of your current moment of distress. Right now, whatever you're feeling, your distress, all that stuff is very magnified to you. Sometimes it feels like it can be forever. But by looking at these other lifetimes, just like you'd look at your childhood with some nostalgia, and trust me, Tommy knows that I have the best childhood.
Oh, it worked out such greatly for you.
Spoiler alert, everybody died. But anyway, so it's not like I'm looking back and you're looking at me like, oh, she had such a great childhood. Trust me, I was trained to be an Olympic figure skater, then got hit by a car. And that's totally not related to anyone's death. So trust me, I'm not just like some Pollyanna over here, despite what it might look like, just having nostalgia. People have nostalgia about things that were in the past because what you take with you are the gems on a very soul deep level. So on that level too, that is why you look back subconsciously at other lifetimes and you feel drawn to it for some reason. There's things you had there. You took with you loves. You took with you relationships. You took with you all these things that right now it's hard for you to feel because you didn't take them with you yet, but it's also you're kind of in the mess of the present. And, you know, as humans, as part of the human experience, we're always trying to figure it out. So that's a few reasons why you'd be attracted or drawn to other lifetimes.
Yeah. That's kind of awesome. That's like, thank God, because like, I always figured if I ever had like another lifetime, well, you know me, I would love to live in like, my whole goal is to get away from society, live in a cottage somewhere in the woods and all that stuff, and just raise chickens and, you know, chop wood and all that stuff. But unfortunately, I have to live here. And I would love that time. Like I always look back and think, oh God, it would be so great to live just 100 years ago, 200 years ago. But then I realized, hey, I'm a giant man. They'll probably just throw me into a circus and be like, look at the freak. Look at him. He's about 5'2". He's a monster.
Well, you can still live in a cottage or whatever you want away if you wanted, but I totally get you. I totally think about those things all the time. And then I think, I can't kill animals, but I could eat cooked animals. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just like, oh, do I really have what it takes? Obviously, I would need another part to help, but or something like that. But yeah. And so on recent Joe Rogan studies, he's realized through studying experts that actually have prototypes of time machines that according to them, according to like 3 expert theorists that have prototypes of time machines, you can't go back to before the equipment was invented. So you can't actually, if the equipment was invented for you to go from, whatever, April 2023, you can't go before April 2023 because there'd be nothing for you to come back in, some sort of like telephone booth type of scenario.
But what if you go into another dimension and they had made time machines 100 years ago?
I like that you're expanding your mind up and not this way. Good for you. Yes, we will continue that. Also, since we have to wrap up soon, I've been thinking, with my, with my phase of, being in a different era, should I just like go about the streets on the weekends in my different era clothes and just sort of make people wonder if I'm a time traveler, like just have mysterious conversations with people and just leave it all weird and just, like stove, fridge, whatever do you mean? And then just frolic away. Like, should I just be a time traveler? What?
Did you just say bridge?
Fridge.
Oh, fridge. I was gonna say it had bridges. No, because these days they cancel everybody from the past. So they'd be like, you must have done something terrible that we don't like now.
Like instead of being like, oh my God, this is time traveler, they just jump to that.
Yeah. Tell us what you did that was somehow against this or that. I mean, you can dress like that. That's fine. Like, I work in the city and literally people do whatever the hell they want. Like, literally, you can dress.
I feel like I would get shot in the city for dressing like this.
Probably, but you'll get shot in the city doing anything.
True.
Yeah, so it's not gonna hit like it's not gonna affect it much. Maybe, probably not. You'll get shot either way.
Ah. Well, I'm looking forward to that. And guys, I hope you had fun today. And if you found this at all informative, please don't forget to like and subscribe because you're not going to want to miss our next video. Also, tons of playlists for you guys to see. We put out a video every week on Tuesdays. Check out all the playlists. There's tons of things you'd want to see. Also, don't forget to subscribe. It would be amazing. Share would be phenomenal. And if anybody would like an intuitive spiritual guidance session with me, which people rave about, the contact information is in the description box. And if anybody would like to be on the show and advise me or us on anything, or just have a interview session, that would be amazing. Please also email the soulspyuniversity@gmail.com. It's in the description box. And please share in the comments, what would you guys like to hear about? We'd love to hear from you. We appreciate you so, so much. And I hope you had fun today and found this informative. Any questions? Leave in the comments. Okay? Love you guys.
Bye, everyone. Thank you for watching.
Peace.